I want to ask about the Golang node software because I'm not very familiar with the Golang software. I'll say that humbly. I've heard about it. I know that it's higher. I know it's a higher tech specification. Fashion Coder discussed it with me when I streamed
she's
her.
great.
Like she's a genius. Let me ask you this then, brother. What is the Golang node software? Is this the Go software that PulseChain is now utilizing? And is this one of the causes of the PulseChain delay? Tell us also about how Solidity operates in regards to smart contracts. What is a better programming language and why, or is it better if they work synergistically?
So Go is just short for Golang. So if you hear Go, it's just short for Golang. And Golang is a programming language created by Google. And it's basically the new kid on the block the last decade or so. A lot of people have been converting from Ruby to Go, from Python to Go, from C, C++ to Go, or Rust. Rust is also another one. And it has a lot of libraries and has a lot of features that blockchain developers like. It has a great crypto library, like cryptography, not cryptocurrency. It has a great cryptography library that you can use, which plays into cryptocurrency though, because cryptography is a big part of that. So Golang is kind of the go-to for a lot of the node software, a lot of the tooling around it, just because it just affords all these different APIs and all these different functions and stuff that make writing code easier. Node.js and JavaScript and all these things are also languages that a lot of blockchain stuff go in. I was talking to Alex from Hedron the other day, and I asked him, he was talking about writing an RBot back in the day, and I think he wrote it in Python or something. And I said, what would you do differently if you wrote it today? And he said, oh, I'd probably write it in JavaScript or some language like that, just because there's the more that cryptocurrency grows and the more blockchain projects there are, the more libraries that people create for reusable code, things that make using the programming languages easier for blockchain projects. So it's just kind of this like, this is a cycle of like the more popular a certain niche is, like cryptocurrency, the more people that use a programming language to do stuff in it, the more helpful features and stuff the language will accrue over time for it. So you can if you just Google for like write your own proof of stake blockchain node, you can do it pretty fairly easily actually. Like there's like a bunch of blog articles. Now to make it awesome and make it 99% uptime, that's much harder. Make it scale, set up all the computers, set up all the nodes on different instances and stuff. That's harder. But with Golang, they make it very easy to write your own blockchain node, and you can get it. You can literally, if you have any dev experience at all, you can go just write one in maybe a few hours. But again, writing something as complicated as PulseChain and forking ETH and stuff, that's a way different story. So Golang, JavaScript, Node.js, Rust, a lot of those are for nodes. They're for blockchain, for interacting with the blockchain a lot of times. But Solidity is for smart contracts. I think there's actually I think you can write smart contracts in other languages and maybe compile them into the bytecode that other blockchains use. But for Ethereum and Ethereum-like networks, it's Solidity. Or very, very other similar languages. Like I said before, MetaMask is written, I think, in JavaScript. I think I looked it up on GitHub. It's written in JavaScript, which again makes sense. It's a Chrome extension, Firefox extension, stuff like that. But it basically all the like JavaScript, Golang, things like this, they're just good at helping you interact with the blockchain, ask it for data, send transactions, for nodes to talk to each other, to talk to miners, all that type of stuff. So when you rewrite it in Golang, if that was what happened, maybe it was in Rust before, I've been looking at the PulseChain.com GitLab repo, and there's a lot of Rust source files too for different projects. I think the public repo doesn't have nearly as much as the private repos and the stuff they're actually working on these days. I think it's like the minimal amount of stuff to release. But there's some stuff in JavaScript and Golang on the PulseChain.com repo as well. But I think Golang, just think about Solidity for smart contracts. You develop code in this language, gets compiled on to run on the Ethereum EVM, the virtual machine that actually runs the bytecode, which does all the features and functions and send and receive and all the coin stuff. And then Golang and other languages are for like the supporting infrastructure, the node stuff, the CLI, the tooling, and things like that to communicate with blockchain.